After a robbery, immediately call the police department by dialing 911. Immediately write down everything you can remember. Hey, after you're all bloodied up, you know, your eyes are cross-eyed, you're trying to figure out where the hell you are, get out your pen and paper and write this stuff down, because, you know, we're going to get these people. Unbelievable. Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our story here is dealing with gang members in the city of Los Angeles targeting residences in wealthy areas. Now, this has become such a problem that the LAPD is utilizing tax dollars to create a task force to help mitigate this issue of robberies and thefts. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise that they're having to do this, because they haven't been policing the streets in the numbers that they should have, because you have the left implementing defund the police. You have them not being harsh on crime, which is why we have these thefts taking place in CVS, Walgreens, these smash and grabs going into Louis Vuitton and all these other stores. But folks, if you recall, this is so they can feed their family, right? This is to help them because of racism, because of slavery, the institutions that are keeping them down and oppressed. They need to feed their family with Louis Vuitton bags, with a chapstick and lipstick from CVS and Walgreens. But this is what happens, folks, when you don't police the streets. This is what happens when you want to defund the police. This is what happens when you're not harsh on crime, is you have these gang members just running roughshod over an entire city, and now we're having to deal with this problem of them targeting wealthy people. Well, this one comes from Fox News, folks, and they say here, more than a dozen street gangs have been descending on wealthy areas in Los Angeles, following residences to their home and robbing them of expensive items, according to police. We have the captain here, Captain Tippet, who spearheads an LAPD follow home robbery task force. Yes. Follow home robbery task force. Do you think this has gotten a little bit out of control, where they're creating a task force with this title? Jesus. Told the city police commission during a meeting on Tuesday that at least 17 gangs, most of them based in South Los Angeles, have been independently staging robberies, sometimes using spotters to target people wearing high-end watches or driving expensive cars. As many as 5 carloads of people had followed home some targets, swarming them to steal watches, handbags, or cars before they have much of a chance to resist. And isn't this just lovely that this is happening, especially in a state that is so strict in gun laws? Now, I literally just went to a gun shop the other day to purchase another firearm, and I can't believe how strict California has gotten on some of their sidearms, their handguns, their rifles. It is crazy. Folks, it is extremely hard to get a conceal and carry license in the state of California. And with these kind of smash and grabs taking place, people stopping you in the streets, robbing you at gunpoint out of your vehicle, there is no other time right now than to have a firearm, regardless of whether you're wealthy, poor, middle income. It doesn't matter. You need to protect and arm yourself, because there's a bunch of thugs out there in the street that want to take your crap, and they'll take 5 cents out of your vehicle in exchange for your life. In one case, a man was arrested this month on suspicion of robbing a victim of 2 watches worth an estimated $600,000. On Monday, a woman was followed by criminal suspects after she left a jewelry store in the jewelry district of downtown Los Angeles, police said. After stopping at an intersection, one of the suspects got out of their car and smashed the woman's driver's side window. The woman abandoned her car and was chased by the suspects, who struck her with a vehicle, held her at gunpoint, and stole her watch. I mean, is it not astonishing that something like this is taking place in 2022? But like I said, folks, we're talking about Los Angeles, South Los Angeles here, that has been dominated. The entire state has been dominated by Democrats for a long, long time. And the left go, well, what about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Let's be real, folks. Let's be real. He wasn't really a Republican. He wasn't really conservative. If anything, he was center left, and he just claimed himself to be that. It would be like Bernie Sanders saying that he's a Democrat when in actuality he's a socialist, right? That claims that he's an independent. That's basically what Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing. Oh, I'm a Republican, all these things. No, man. You didn't do a great job as governor. We need an actual Republican to get in there. Like Richard Nixon was a great governor. You had Ronald Reagan as a great governor. Like those types of people need to be back in here and clean up the streets like Rudy Giuliani did with New York. We need to get one of those guys in here that actually knows what the hell they're doing, because Newsom doesn't have a damn clue. Quote, we have seen countless individuals traumatized by having a gun pointed at them, Tippet said. Many others are dealing with the trauma and injuries from being tackled, kicked, beaten, punched, and are pistol whipped to the head. Tippet told Fox News the gangs are primarily based out of South Los Angeles, but the force has seen individuals associated with these gangs who live outside the county. Tippet also said that the robberies are being committed primarily in the downtown and Wilshire area, with a significant amount in the Hollywood area. So these are looking at potentially wealthy areas, like I said at the beginning, where they know that these smash and grabs, these robberies, these thefts are going to be worth it. And that's why we looked at the example of one that was ultimately apprehended with watches worth $600,000. Tippet said there were 165 such holdups last year and 56 so far this year. 3 victims were shot, including 2 people who died. 50 robberies took place in the LAPD's Hollywood division and nearly as many in the Wilshire division. Such attacks were almost unheard of before last year. Gee, I wonder why. Because again, they're being soft on crime. You had the proposition that was passed, I believe, in 2014, and the number's slipping because there's so many propositions through this state, but where basically they reduced the crime level of you stealing something or the amount of goods worth $950, basically. So that's why you're seeing these smash and grabs all over the place, which I highlighted at Walgreens, CVS, Louis Vuitton, all these expensive stores. They're just going in and taking free stuff. Quote, in my 34 years in the LAPD, I've never seen this type of criminal behavior in such large coordinated groups. The task force has made several dozen arrests for robbery, weapons crimes, and attempted murder, along with 4 arrests on suspicion of murder. Well, this is where we get where they sent out this PR flyer here on telling communities that they need to be on guard for these robberies. And I want to take you to a better look at it here. It says, Area Safety Bulletin. Due to an increase in violent street robberies, Robbery Homicide Division has become aware of an ongoing crime trend of follow home robberies. Suspects have been locating victims in Los Angeles, following them, and then committing the robberies as the victim arrives home at their business. Now, I haven't read this full flyer, but I want to see somewhere, anywhere, if they tell people to arm themselves with a gun, because that's the best deterrence there, and it's also the best self-defense. Victims have been followed from such places like Melrose Avenue, the Jewelry District of Los Angeles, nightclubs, and high-end restaurants in Los Angeles. The target of these robberies have been expensive jewelry, including watches and necklaces, as well as expensive purses. Victims have also been targeted based on the type of vehicle they are driving. These crimes have occurred throughout the city of Los Angeles, as well as neighboring cities. Different suspects have been identified and arrested for these types of crimes. The following are recommendations. So let's break this down. Be aware of one's surroundings for anything unusual or out of the ordinary before exiting your car, walking out of a restaurant, stores, malls, or clubs. They really should have put an etc. after that. Basically, anytime you're walking around LA, Hollywood, anywhere of that area, you need to be on guard at all times. Hell, don't even go down there, basically, is what they should be saying. Be cautious of displaying high-value property in public, such as purses, watches, and jewelry. Again, etc., etc. Keep going. Nice jackets, clothing, shoes. I mean, hell, anything expensive nowadays will be ripped right off your damn body and you'll be left for dead in the streets. Record and report suspicious activity to the police. Why? You don't do anything. They don't do anything. There's literally videos of people walking into stores with duffel bags full of stuff and walking out, just stealing stuff. And you're going to report and record something here as if they're going to do a damn thing about it. Look, they haven't been doing anything, folks, for years on this stuff. And you're supposed to trust them here with this bulletin. You're supposed to trust them that they're going to do something about this? I don't know. Come on. It seems a little bit silly to me. If you are driving and believe you are being followed, dial 911. If possible, drive to the nearest police station. If you're being robbed, sorry. If you're being robbed, do not resist robbery suspects. Cooperate and comply with their demands. Be a good witness. After you get the shit beat out of you, because again, the left want to defund the police. We don't have enough police officers to patrol our streets and make sure everybody's safe. So you know what? Get the shit kicked out of you. Be a good witness. Make sure you see everything. Make sure your eyes are peeled and you're wide open. And when you're done getting your ass kicked, make sure you report it. So call 911, be a good witness, and make sure you get that, because we'll come out and get them for you. We'll get them for you. Yeah, right. After a robbery, immediately call the police department by dialing 911. Immediately write down everything you can remember. Hey, after you're all bloodied up, you know, your eyes are cross-eyed, you're trying to figure out where the hell you are, get out your pen and paper and write this stuff down, because, you know, we're going to get these people. Unbelievable. Oh, God. Do not chase or follow the robbery suspect out of your place of business or home. Leave the job of catching the suspects to the police. Notice, nowhere in here, again, we have the whole thing here. I just want to be clear on this. Nowhere in here does it say, hey, go purchase a firearm. Hey, go make sure that you get a CCW or a concealed carry license. None of that. Because we live in the state of California. It's extremely hard to get a gun that you want. They have a bunch of handguns you can get, right, and rifles. I don't want to diminish us not being able to go purchase a firearm, but you might not be able to purchase a firearm of your liking, like a Smith & Wesson MP 2.0 compact or something that's not California certified for some bogus reason, right? So you're not able to get the handgun you would like, even though it's a handgun that's recommended by a lot of people. You just can't go to the gun store and get it because, again, California is ran by a bunch of libs, a bunch of leftist progressives that allow this stuff to happen. But again, when you get the crap beat out of you, folks, when you have all your jewelry taken, right, your windows are broken, you might be bleeding out, get that notepad and pen out. Make sure you take really good notes of what you saw and how it happened so that they can go catch a guy that will never get caught. It's just like, God, man, this is how the state's being ran. A source with close ties to LAPD who wished to remain anonymous blamed this spat of brazen follow-home robberies on the controversial policies of LA County's District Attorney George Gascon. This guy, George Gascon, for those that don't live in California, is a heap of garbage. Like a heap of garbage. He doesn't do anything. This is honestly one of the main reasons as to why this type of stuff is happening. I don't know who this anonymous person is. 100% correct. And you know what? It's my fault. I haven't done enough for ripping this guy a new asshole on his type of behavior that he's done with this state. If I can rank him between an A to an F, he is an F, like a far F on how he does his job. I really do mean that. And you know, I should do a video on this guy, and I think I will. I'm going to plan it out and do one because he needs to be ripped a new one because he is garbage. One of the worst attorney generals I've ever seen. Like Democrat or Republican, probably easily one of the worst. He's that bad, folks. When DA Gascon said he won't seek gang enhancements, that basically rang the dinner bell for many of these gangs, the source told Fox News. It won't be long before gangs from other surrounding cities such as San Bernardino, Riverside, come to Los Angeles to commit their crimes. And why wouldn't you? If you're going to get away with it, you're not going to be thrown in jail. You're not going to be prosecuted because you got this idiot attorney general not doing his job. Why wouldn't you go to LA and steal a bunch of stuff? Why commit crimes in their own counties when they know they receive a lighter sentence if they get caught? And they might not even be sentenced with this guy. There's been people that have committed really heinous crimes, never got prosecuted, were let go, and then went and killed somebody because of this guy. It's that bad. Fox News has left messages with Gascon's office seeking comment. Since taking office, Gascon has issued directives to halt bail requests, try stopping juveniles as adults, stop seeking the death penalty, and has banned prosecutors from seeking sentencing enhancements and from attending parole hearings. This stuff is wild, man. Again, don't move here. Get the hell out. I got a 5 to 6 year plan. The move against enhancements, which can result in harsher punishments for crimes such as using a gun, has been particularly controversial. Los Angeles increased in robberies and burglaries follows statewide trends of increasing crime since COVID-19 pandemic. Last year saw a brash of organized crime gangs targeting high-end retail stores, smash and grab robberies up and down the Golden State. Again, we've highlighted that. We've even talked about it. We've done full videos on this stuff, especially done videos on watching the state go absolutely down the drain. There's so many times where you get people traveling in, and you'll hear this on AM 640 with John and Ken or KFI with Bill Handel. You'll hear people talk about how they are visiting the state of California. And they go to Hollywood because they see all these movies being filmed and they see guys doping up on the street. They see a homeless person just taking a crap on the street. They see people beating the crap out of each other on Sunset Boulevard. And these are people that are coming here for vacation and they're completely blown away by how run down the city is to the point where they're going, I'm never coming back. This isn't what I thought it would be. It's trash. You got razor blades in playgrounds. You have needles everywhere outside of schools. You have needles inside schools. You have needles also in playgrounds. You have homeless people encamped outside of the school fencing, so students have to walk past them each and every day to get to school. You have feces on school walls. You have pee on school walls from the homeless throwing their feces everywhere. I did a story on how literally a homeless person pulled a lady out of her vehicle and poured a can of hot diarrhea all over her. And people think I'm joking. California literally has an app that you can track feces and drugs on the street so you don't walk into them, so you don't encounter them, things like that. That's how bad it is here, folks. This state is nuts. It is nuts, and it's only getting worse. It's like Joe Biden running things and Kamala Harris. And we shouldn't expect anything from the federal level, right, from Kamala Harris, because she ran this state and ran it into the ground, did a damn good job of it. And you got Pelosi on the other end, you know, trying to find her dentures constantly, let alone running a state is way out of her hands because she's running into the ground. And you got Joe Biden and Dollard running the federal government into the ground as well, which is why we're dealing with 40-year inflation records, Russia-Ukraine invasion taking place because that idiot partially looks weak. You know, Trump didn't look weak, which is why Putin didn't go invade whenever, you know, like he did now, because he looks at Joe Biden like, that old man ain't gonna do anything. The guy doesn't even know his own wife's name. You think he's gonna come and do anything with me? Calling Putin a war criminal, which he is, but you're not going to do anything, man. You're going to try that guy for war crimes. Yeah, go get him. See what happens. See what happens. You're not going to do anything. And we all know that. I don't like Putin. I don't like what Putin's doing. Not agree with it. All I'm saying is our president's weak and our politicians are weak in the state of California as well, which is why you have these robberies and thefts taking place in these residences or these residency areas, these neighborhoods where there's wealthy people living. Well, folks, let me know what you think of all this. There's a lot there in the comment section down below. I love reading your guys' comments. Some of you guys write hilarious stuff. Just know, just because I don't hit that heart or I comment back, I'm telling you, I read all of them, so I really do appreciate it. And as always, folks, hit that like and subscribe button. Support a conservative, support a fellow Republican. With everything going on, folks, we got to get this show to blow up a little bit so we can go on other people's shows, spread conservative thought. We can debate other people, maybe all sorts of stuff, but it relies on you to hit that like and subscribe button and watch the content all the way through. With that being said, I will see you later today here on the Bald Brad Show.